With Halloween just around the corner, I thought it would be fun to look into a part of college football that has left fans across the country puzzled, intrigued, and a little disturbed. That is the infamous cult that is Texas A&M. I hope you guys don't take this video too seriously and we can all just get into the Halloween spirit by learning a little bit more about the Aggies. So Texas A&M obviously has been all over social media lately for seems like all the wrong reasons. Not only has their team been underperforming on the field with a 3-3 start, most notably the loss to App State in week 2 and now back-to-back losses to Mississippi State and the Bryce Youngless Alabama. Granted, 3-3 is nothing to scoff at, especially in the SEC, but when you're coming off one of the best recruiting classes ever, safe to say expectations are pretty high. All of that aside, videos keep leaking from Texas A&M's midnight yells. I'm sure most of you have seen them. I've always been vaguely aware that Texas A&M has these midnight yells where they gather the night before games and kind of go over cheers, maybe sing songs. I'm not really sure everything that goes on, but these videos that have been leaked kind of delve into and expose a little bit more of the cringy side of these traditions.
And maybe even Sinister.
Now, over the years, I do remember hearing about Texas A&M as a cult, and I always kind of laughed at it. I thought it was just kind of rivalry banter between teams that didn't like Texas A&M, but it also did spark some curiosity, and I finally kind of took the time to look into it to kind of see what's going on in College Station. I don't think I'm overly exaggerating when I was pretty shocked at some of the things I found. I think the main reason that people think that Texas A&M is a cult are these intense traditions, rituals, symbols that they use. Now, traditions are a fundamental part of college football across the country. Hand signals, for example, the Texas Longhorns, the Chomping Gator, the Miami U. All these are great parts of what makes college football so amazing and special for each school. But it's safe to say that Texas A&M takes these and ramps it up to 1,000. The first thing I saw was their Aggie ring. And this is basically a class ring, but not your average class ring, obviously, with a tacky jewel that says the year you graduated. No, this is the Aggie ring, stuffed with symbolism, meaning, and rituals. On their website, it talks about these different symbols that are featured on the ring. So the main one, the eagle for power and agility, the saber for valor and confidence, the cannon for preparedness and defense, just to name a few. Now, these have been seen in other places like the Freemasons. It was the first thing that popped to my mind, and I was kind of comparing the pictures and it looked eerily similar. So you guys draw your own conclusions there, but apparently the initiation process to wear the ring is to drop it into a glass of warm beer and drink it out, which is fine, but just kind of interesting tip of the iceberg type stuff. So where did the phrase giggum come from? Apparently back in 1930, Texas A&M was holding one of their traditional midnight yells the night before the game against the TCU Horned Frogs, and one of their board of regents, P.L. Pinky Downs, came up with the phrase giggum. A gig is basically a tool for frog hunting, so basically they stab the frog with the gig, and that's what he was referring to with the thumbs up, and this kind of stuck forever. And I was looking at the pictures of gigs. Look at the picture of a gig compared to, I don't know, the Devil's Scepter. Strangely familiar in my opinion, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that one. Obviously I'm reaching a bit here, but it was funny to see how similar they looked in context of the video. In my opinion, by far the creepiest and most cult-like ritual they have is the flight of the Great Pumpkin that they do every Halloween. And these videos have surfaced recently as well on TikTok and Twitter of the men with torches and pumpkin heads and face painted and all that stuff. Apparently this dates back to one of the military traditions, because we all know Texas A&M has a strong military influence. The cadets kind of had this competition of bobbing for apples, and the last person to come up with an apple had to put the pumpkin on their head and wear a white sheet and run around through a gauntlet of upperclassmen that were trying to break the pumpkin off the person's head. Don't know why, but apparently this escalated into a competition between the cadets and the school band, and they would eventually use axe handles to break the pumpkin off the person's head, and this would result into a full-on brawl between the Texas A&M cadets and the Texas A&M band, and this would have eventually end the tradition for an extended period of time. And obviously it's been brought back recently, but just insane to think that we're using axe handles to break pumpkins off people's heads while they're wearing it. Very strange, Texas A&M. So all is to say, do I think Texas A&M is a cult? No, not really. Do they have some of the most intense traditions and loyal fan bases in the country? Yes, for sure. And from the outside looking in, the optics aren't always great for Texas A&M. Do I think anything is sinister going on the campus? No, not really. I think doing my research, it seems like Texas A&M stands up for a lot of great things on campus and off. Overall, I think it's safe to say Texas is one of the most unique student bodies in the country. I think that's great. I think they add a lot to the landscape of college football. They're iconic with the 12th man and everything that they bring. A lot of great football teams to come out of Texas A&M. And we can talk about how they get their top recruits to sign to that school in the first place in another video. But that's all for this one. Let me know what you guys think. What are some creepy traditions that you have noticed across the country? And leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one.